Now, right, it is fine. We will control. Now, going to modify freeze transformation. That's all. Again, we need to create one more controller for the switching. You can see the switches here. Okay, you can see the switches here, right? This switch, see, it is by default the name is polycube 3. Okay, but I told you we are going to give connectivity directly to the mesh, so better we can give proper naming for this. So I'm going to give the name switch, switch, switch. To switch, for this switch, again I need to take some different shape, on and off. uh, so that on and off, I can create curves again. So I'm going to take a curve, going to bring it out, going to resize it, turn it, come to the front view, the right view, it is in the back. Okay, now here it is in the left. Okay, I'm going to bring it here. I'm going to bring it forward. I'm going to bring it forward. Rotation. Make it little bit more smaller. Right. I'm going to keep the switch near, keep the controller nearby to the switch. Right. So this controller, this switch, this controller curve goes to the top, switch off goes to the down, switch on. Okay, so by default it is on the top. I can keep it there, and before that I need to duplicate it again. Control D. I have duplicated it again. I'm making it little bit bigger. I'm going to take the control vertex shape of the duplicate curve. I think I can better bring it out and do it. Okay, I'm going to take the control vertex, left view. Yes, I'm going to take the control vertex shape. Control vertex, I'm going to reduce the shape. I'm going to modify the shape. Yes. Yes. Going to bring some shape like this. Yes, it is fine. Now I'm going to bring it here. Still I want to make this thing little bit bigger and wider, and make it to sit exactly near to the switch. And I'm going to select this on off control. Right, I'm going to bring it down in the left view. I'm going to align it in the top. So this position will be the 0th position of this curve. So this is power off. If it comes down, it should power on. Switch should be in the on mode. Okay, now in this mode I'm going to give proper naming. Okay, so this is on and off switch. Okay, so I'm going to give switch control, switch control. Now, and this I'm going to give switch box control. That is a box control. Okay, so after creating this, select both of them. It is like delete the history, freeze the transformation, again delete the history, freeze the transformation. Now the switch control and the switch box control. Okay, both the controls uh, are there in the outliner. You can see it separately. Now under the switch box control I need to bring the switch control. Okay, so click on the switch control in the outliner, press the middle mouse button and hold it. Okay, press and hold the middle mouse button and move it on the switch box control. Now it become the child of this. Okay, now if you move the switch box control, it is moving, right? Now bring this switch box control under the root control and bring the root control under master control, and you can see pole vector control and head control are in the outside. Okay, bring the pole vector control under the root control, and again head control is there. Bring the head control, bring the head control. See, click the middle mouse button and hold it and bring the head control under the root control. Okay, now if I go to perspective view, if I select the master control, all my controls should get selected, right? Even the switch controls, everything should be selected. If I select the root, okay, this is the hierarchy of the controller curves. And now we need to find out the need, right, of which movement is needed for which part of the body. Okay, so here in the last class itself we saw it is only the translate movement. Okay, so for that, which constraint we need to use? Point constraint, right? I think you know it very well. Parent constraint is for movement and rotation. So for point constraint we are going to use point constraint. So in constraining, so first select the controller object, then shift select the influenced object or the child, I mean the high K handle, then go to constraint, open point constraint, reset the settings, maintain offset, give apply and close. Now Yes, the controller curve is working fine. Again, how to give this pole vector constraint? So select the pole vector curve, control curve. Again, shift select the IK handle. Okay, go to the pole vector option box, reset it and give apply. After applying, you can see the connectivity between, you can see a green line here. Okay, previously it was not there. Okay, now when I am giving apply, you can see the pole vector constraint has been applied. Right, you can see how it is working. This is how pole vector constraint works. So sorry, yeah, no, this is the pose and this is the pose. This is how both the controllers work. And now what we need to do, I need to select this controller. What is the purpose of this controller is to move up and down and to rotate, but IK handle do not support this kind of orientation. So for that we have a different technique. Okay, so this is okay. I need translate and rotate only. I don't need the scale and visibility option in my channel box. Right, select this controller, go to channel box, select the scale and visibility, right click on that, give the option lock and hide selected. Right, that's all. Now let us come and check. Yeah, the pole vector, it is no, there is no need of the rotation, it seems. Okay, it is useless. We keep rotation and the scaling as usual. Scaling is not at all needed. So for that what we need, we need only translation. So for that, select this, select rotate scale and visibility, right click and lock and hide selected. Now yes, again for all the controls we have some constraints that we will see. Now we have achieved this and this, but I want my head to turn. Okay, I want my head to rotate. Okay, I want my head to rotate. How to get this action done? Yes, that is why I told you in the beginning, multiple number of constraints can be given with one single controller. Okay, so we can try that. We have given translate for IK handle. So for rotation, I need to select this and I'm going inside. See, I hope you remember that we have selected this bone and we have selected this head part, this skin and this neck part of the skin. We have combined it and we have given parent constraint to the bone. So if the bone turns, if the bone turns, the head should also turn, right? So I'm just going to select the head control, shift select the bones. See, I cannot find the bone here properly, so I can go and select somewhere head joint, top joint. Okay, but it, if I select the joint there, this joint will also get selected, so the influence will be confusing. So better to select manually here. To turn off this geometry, select this and shift select this. So go to constraint, and give which one? Orientation is for rotation, right? So give orient constraint. Now if I select this controller, you can see my head is rotating. See, I don't need the IK handle. Okay, it is disturbing, so I'm just going to turn it off. Go to show and turn off the IK handles. Turn off. Now it is clear. Okay, so this movement is achieved and this movement is achieved and this movement is also achieved. Okay, so again, one more important controller what we need to do is this switch controller. We need to give connectivity. So I think before giving the connectivity, I can bring this switch directly in front of the, switch controller directly in front of the switch itself, so that it will be easily understandable. Okay, I'm just making the changes. After making the changes, I'm going to give, because here the values are changed, I'm going to give again freeze transformation. I'm going to see, since this switch control is the child of this switch box control, there is no changes happened in the translation, because this is the parent, this is the child. The parent's 0th position has been applied to the child. Okay, now how to give? First, we should limit the movements of these controls. After that, we can think about creating or giving constraints. Okay, see, it should move from here to here, that's all. But what happens when I'm moving? You can see it is keep on moving here and there, and this is also keep on moving here and there, and I am not comfortable with that. So to limit these actions, first I need to go to select this curve, then press Ctrl A. Okay, it will open the attribute editor. After creating after clicking Ctrl A, it will open the attribute editor. Okay, select this, Control plus A. Yeah, now in this we will be having two tabs: control, shape and control. So click on this control. There you can see an option called limit information. Limit the movements. Okay, we need to limit the information which is being applied or which is being influencing the curves. So limit the information, uh, in that I want to check translate. Okay, this is which option? Translate Y. You can see the values are getting changed here. Okay, translate Y. So first I'm selecting this. You can see the options like minimum limit and the maximum limit. Okay, this is the current value 0. First I'm clicking, when I'm clicking on this value will be applied here. Okay, I'm going to select the maximum value. I'm going to pass the 0 here to the maximum value. I have set the limit. So see it is coming down. The minimum value is to the ground, the 0 minus value is coming down, but if I move, it is stopping there itself. It is not going to the top. It is stopping there. It is not going to the top. So maximum value is given. Again, I'm going to turn the limit for y. Now I should move it little bit. There you can see the change of value in the current position. This is the current position and this is the current position value. I am going to move that value to the minimum position. Okay, now I have turned the limit on. So this is 0 is maximum. Current position I have turned it for minimum. So see, it is not coming down. Okay, it is in the top, it is 0. Now it is in the minus 0 some value. Okay, some minimum value. This is how we need to set limit information so that it won't move. Okay, see, but still it is moving in the left right. Okay, and still it can be moved in the z-axis as well as x-axis. So for that, what we need to do, we need to remove the unwanted attributes. Okay, so when I select this, I'm going to channel box, I'm going to give the 0. It is there. So only for this I think I need only translate y. Okay, so I'm going to select this control, click on translate x, shift select, sorry, or control select translate z, rotate x, rotate y, rotate z, scale x, scale y, scale, visibility, everything, and right click on that, give the option lock and hide selected. That's all. So for the switch control, now I am having only one option. Okay, if I try to move it to the left or right, it won't work. If I try to rotate, you can see the rotate option is not available. If I try to scale, the option is not available. So whatever is needed, only that option is available. Okay, so now what about this one, switch box control? This can move anywhere, right? And that is also not good for our rig. So what can be done for this switch box control? I want to make it static. I don't want that to be moved. Okay, so for that, for the switch box control, again I'm selecting the controller curve, give control A. Again you can see in the attribute editor two options, switch box control and control shape 1, right? Yes, here in switch box control you can go to the option display. Under the display, you can straight away look down and you can see some option called drawing overrides. Drawing overrides. Click on the drawing overrides. Overrides in the sense we are making this, we are giving some excess information for this switch box control and we are going to hide it or we are going to freeze it that it is not being controlled by someone else. Okay, so see where it is, again switch box control, again come to this display. In the display, drawing overrides, give enable overrides. After enabling the overrides, you can see the display type, it is showing as normal. Okay, normally visible, but we don't need that. I need to make it as a reference mode. Something should be there for understanding. That is enough. I need not to turn or rotate it. So I'm making it reference mode. Click on this normal, click on this down button and make it as a reference. Okay. After making it as reference, you can see you cannot select it. It become black in color. The control become black in color. And again we are facing one problem, that is the inner control, that switch on off control, that control is also affected. Okay, so for that again I need to select that switch control in the, I need to see, listen carefully, I need to select the switch control in the outliner. I'm going to the outliner. Here it is hidden, it become reference, so I'm selecting it, switch box control. Under that switch control, because switch control should be able to access, then that is only then we can translate up and down y axis to turn the switch on. Select the switch control, again control A, attribute editor, come to switch control. Here the same option, okay, display, under that drawing overrides, again enable overrides, and by default it is normal. Okay, we have enabled the override. So now if you select, if you click outside, you can see it is, we can select it. Okay, translate up and down is working. Now we have enabled the overrides and given the value as normal. Why it became reference? Because this is the switch box control that became reference, and this is the, that is the parent, and switch control is the child. So whatever the thing parent is possessing, that affects the child, so this one also become reference mode. Now we have given enable override, and by default it will be in normal, so it is accessible now, right? So now what constraint we need to give for this? And before giving any constraints, I told both the objects should not have any history, and the pivot should be in the middle, and the transformation or the global values should be 0 for both of them. So here for our switch, our translation mode is not clear, I mean the global values are not clear. It is also having some geometry input like that. So I'm going to edit, delete by type, history, delete the history, then modify, freeze transformation. So both the objects are clear. So I'm going to select this curve and this switch, and which constraint I need to give. That is one big question here. Which constraint? See, I have given explanation with the human model for aim constraint. Okay, aim constraint. Okay, this object is facing this curve. You can recall this example, because in the human eyes example, the, just imagine this is the human eye and this is the control curve. Okay, wherever the control curve goes, the same way human eye rotates, the eyeball of the human. So that is the aim constraint, it was given. Similarly, we are going to give aim constraint for this. So I hope you know good about aim constraint. So I'm going to select this switch control, shift, sorry, select the switch control, shift to select the switch, and going to constraint and I'm going to give aim constraint. Okay, after giving aim constraint, okay, this is power off, this is power on, but see, I'm facing a problem. What? The power off the switch is in good position. When I turn on power on, it is going rotating too much as how my controller curve is going down. This is pointing, or this switch is aiming to the movement. The rotation of this switch is connected to the movement of this control. So it is aim is to follow or see this control wherever it is going. Okay, so that is how it is applied very well, but I am facing one problem. This zeroth position is good, but when I move down, keep on, see, the switch is turning or coming out with some uncomfortable position. Okay, so for this, again I should work with the controller curves limitations. Okay, so again I'm selecting the controller curve, opening the attribute editor. There you can see limit information. Right under that, translate, we have given the zeroth value of 0.11 something else. Okay, that is when this comes completely down. Now I want to stop the controller curve here, because this is the believable what setup. Off, believably it is good, on it is okay, but this is not good. So I'm just going to bring it down where I want to stop. Yeah, here I want to stop. Now when coming down, you can see the current value is changing from minus 0.3 to 0.5. So minus value is the downwards movement of y. So I'm keeping it here. I can see the current value minus 0.5. I am moving it to the minimum value again. You can see previously it was 0.11, now it is 0.05 in the minus value. Now when I select it, that's all. The switch is working fine, right? But still, if you want to make this switchbox control now got a little bit bigger. Okay, if you want to make the switchbox control smaller, you can make it, or if actually this is fine, this is working fine, there is no need to make the switchbox controller smaller. But still, if you want to make it smaller according to the movement, yeah, again you can go select the switchbox controller, control A, attribute editor. There you can see display under switchbox control, and under that you can see drawing overrides, enable overrides is there. Make it into normal mode again. Okay, previously it was in reference mode, make it into normal mode so that we can edit this. I'm selecting the control vertex. Okay, I'm going to make it smaller. That's all. Again select that switch box control. Again, in the same drawing overrides, enable overrides, make it as a reference. Now close all the things. Now you can see turn on and off, switch on, switch off, aim constraint. Okay, and our controller curve is not at all moving anywhere unnecessarily. We have given limit information, and we have made the box controller or the switch box controller as a reference, converted into reference mode, right? Yes. Now we have given, we will do a recall. We have given pole vector constraint with the IK handle. We have given point constraint of this head controller to the IK handle, and we have given orient constraint of this head control with the head bone, and we have given aim constraint of for the switch controls. Then we have previously we have given parent child connectivity. We have combined what are all the body parts needed, and we have combined that body parts. We have given proper naming for that body parts, right? And we have combined, sorry, yeah, we have given parent child connectivity, not constraint, parent child connectivity. Okay, keep in mind clearly. Okay, so it is done as of now. Then what is the thing which is missing is, it is not missing. What we need to do yet, it is like, again, this control we can move it, but see, the skin is not coming along with the base control. Okay, so for that we need to rework the hierarchy again. Okay, we need to rearrange the things in the hierarchy, right? See, okay, how to rearrange the things in the hierarchy. So in this hierarchy you can see things are clumsy, random. Okay, so we need to bring everything under the root control. Okay, right? First I'm bringing the IK handle. Click the middle mouse button, hold it and bring it and put it under root control. Then I am selecting this root joint. Okay, the joint structure, bone structure from here to the top. Select the root joint and bring it under root control. Again, I'm selecting what, the switch. Bring it under the root control. Why the switches alone is because it is having some connectivity, right? Again, what is this? P cube. Okay, this is the switch box. Okay, I can give proper naming. Switch box. And bringing that switch box, select and hold middle mouse button, bring it under root control. Now if I select root control, okay, the base is not getting selected, so select the base, polycube 1. Okay, I am giving the name, or actually no need to give the name, anyways for their understanding I'm giving the name base mesh, or better not to give any name because it is not having any connectivity or influence, so let it be in its own name. Click it and bring it under root control. Now if I select this and move, everything is moving, the root control, the master control, everything is moving. Okay, so why do we need master control and root control? Because this master control helps us to bring the complete rig into the Maya workspace as a reference. Okay, when we are creating an animation scene, we need to open a file and we are importing as reference. Okay, import, in that we need to import as reference. So for that purpose we need to have master control. It is like after importing the reference we need to have the master control and we need to position this entire model somewhere else and keep it. Okay, that is why we need to have master control. Okay, to resize everything. And this base control is for animating. So from here I am going to animate it like this, jumping, jumping, jumping. So for that we need base control or root control. Okay, so I hope all of you understand today's work. In this we have used the we did not use parent constraint, I think so, because we have used the point constraint for the head, orient constraint for the head rotation, and scale constraint actually we don't need it, right? Because by default you can scale it unless until you want some constraint, you want to select some control. When you want to move that control or change the value of that control and the object should change its size, then you can use scale constraint. I hope you can understand the logic of the scale constraint. Okay, right? Then we have given pole vector constraint, we have given aim constraint for the switches, and we learned more techniques like how to limit the information of the controller curves and how to change the reference mode and normal mode of any controller curve, and we have created the curves in a design pattern, we have created proper hierarchy, we have done proper grouping. Okay, you just watch the video and try to understand everything. Okay, you can see the hierarchy, right? And this is how we can apply all the most of the constraint in one simple model. The next we will be using all these techniques in a human model, right? Thank you.